Well, it looks like the very thing that people said was going to happen, they speculated was going to come, has actually come to fruition. Is Highguard, the game that was created by Wildlight Entertainment, a small indie team of ex EA devs, made their own studio, made their own free to play FPS shooter, looter, raid kind of game that was shown off at the 2025 Game Awards. Jeff Keighley said this game was going to be the next big thing in FPS. And of course, the game got mixed reactions after it was shown off in the very last slot of the Game Awards. Then there was a long hiatus. There was a month of nothing said about the game when it was going to be launching within a month. And now, not even 2 months after the game's initial release, which was January 26th of 2026, the game is now being sunsetted. It is being shut down, and the official Highguard Twitter has made a statement about it. Right here, it says Highguard's final update arriving soon. Thank you for playing with us. As we scroll down, it is a small statement about the game being shut down on March 12th. Today, we're sharing difficult news. We have made the decision to permanently shut down Highguard on March 12th. Since launch, more than 2 million players stepped into Highguard's world. You shared feedback, created content, and many believed in what we were building. For that, we are deeply grateful. Despite the passion and hard work of our team, we have not been able to build and sustain a player base to support the game long term. Servers will remain online until March 12th. We hope you'll jump in with us one more time to show your support and get those final great matches in while you still can. The team is excited to release one final game update to enjoy in the remaining life of the game. We'll be adding a new warden, new weapon, account level progression, and skill trees. Full patch notes are coming, and we are targeting tonight or tomorrow morning for patch release. From all of us at Wildlight, thank you for playing, for supporting us, and for being a part of Highguard's story. In my opinion, this is just sad to see. I've made a couple of Highguard videos. I've posted gameplay and my personal thoughts about the game. While I did enjoy the game for what it was, it did have issues. They did address those issues very quickly, but I still feel like there's three main key factors on why this game did end up going down the route that it did. The number one spot I would have to say is that it was the last game shown during the Game Awards, a spot that's usually held for the biggest upcoming title that is either a new IP or a sequel or prequel to a game already established. And Jeff Keighley also hyping up the game as if it was going to be the greatest thing to come out of the FPS genre. And while I don't fault the man for liking the game, because again, I did genuinely like the game, I still feel like he put this huge expectation on the developers and on the product that they were going to be giving us, and it just didn't meet most of the gaming community's expectations. And while I do still firmly believe that this game wasn't giving a true chance by many people, a lot of people didn't even get through the tutorial, and they were already review bombing the game on Steam. I think Steam needs to redo their system on how games are being left and rated and how people can leave comments and reviews about a game. I think it has to be a certain length that you have to play it, or maybe a certain achievement you unlock or something like that, because a lot of games gets review bombed on Steam and it's never genuine reviews. It's always people just banging their head on a keyboard just to bring down another game for whatever reason. It's some weird thing that is happening in the gaming community as of recently. But the second thing I will say that probably did hurt Highguard is the fact that it had major server issues during its release. They decided to not do a beta, even though the game was meant to be shadow dropped, I think a beta should have been released right after you guys got the Game Awards spot. Y'all should have changed y'all tactic and how the game was marketed since it was already shown, and y'all stayed silent for a whole month up until release. It's not a stealth drop at that point. Everybody's aware of the game. So I think you guys should have actually dropped a beta or some kind of weekend server slam to test the servers so people can actually get in on day one when the game comes out, because that was a big issue. And of course the game also had performance issues. Not everybody had performance issues, but in most cases a lot of people did. I think the third reason that the game ended up failing is I'm going to have to still continue to blame the gaming community, because the game was already written and painted a narrative that it was going to flop. And yes, even though the trailer that they showed at the Game Awards didn't give much context of what the game was going to be, people already wrote it off before even getting their hands on the game, which is just insane to me. Like, yes, you can judge something with your eyes before actually seeing what it's about, before getting your hands on it, but it's like it's this weird tribalistic thing going on in the gaming community where there used to be the console war. It's like, oh, you're either team Xbox or team PlayStation, and now the console war is basically over. It's this weird tribal thing where people stick to a game that they like or a game genre, and they see it as the definitive version of that genre, and then they want everything else around it to fail. And I'm going to say Arc Raiders community is part of that problem, because the new Bungie game Marathon is coming out. The creators of Halo and Destiny is a new FPS extraction shooter, and that game was already being painted a certain narrative. It's being compared to Arc Raiders, even though they are nothing alike, besides the you go drop in the map, you loot, you kill AI, you kill people, and then you extract with whatever you got. So I just find it very weird on how people are treating new games that come out because they like something in particular and they just want that thing to be the very best it could be. They don't want nothing to compete against it. Like, competition is good. We want to see other developers, we want to see these companies create other games that are alternative to what you like, so that other people can dive into it. Or maybe that game that you like, there's something new that you want to try. Maybe that be the next best thing that you start playing, because eventually you will get tired of the current game that you're playing. There may be an update that they'll drop that you don't like or something like that, and then you just feel like you have nothing to play. So competition is good. We need more competition in this space. But it is very unfortunate that these people lost their job, and now it was no surprise, honestly, that the company is now closing their doors. They're sunsetting the game. They're giving it a final update, which seems to be like a pretty substantial update. And the game literally shuts down in like a week and a few days. They're dropping a new warden, new weapons, probably some other additional things. They're going to be releasing the patch notes soon. So it's really sad to see a game which I think had a lot of potential that this game has. And unfortunately, everybody just shat on it. They just wanted it to fail. And yes, they came out a bit rough with the server issues, the performance issues, and people not really liking the 3v3. They felt like it wasn't enough action on the map. They worked through that quickly. They dropped 5v5. They ended up dropping rank. They ended up fixing the performance as much as possible. It just wasn't enough. That led to the game having a very low player count on Steam. I'm not too sure what the console numbers are, but on Steam, it has been very, very low, not even hitting 300 every night. So as I'm checking right now, currently there are 345 players on it, and within the last 24 hours, it peaked at 460. But just last week, I think it even peaked over 250 within the last 24 hours. That was happening last week. Just very, very low numbers for a game that cannot sustain just profiting and keep on dropping content, continuing to pay the people that are still there, whatever kind of crew or skeleton crew that's left there. It's just not enough to sustain the game and keep running it. Of course, the all-time peak 2 months ago was almost 100K, but it hasn't even been 2 months yet. The game is going to sunset, is going to shut down before it even hit the 2 month mark. It only lasted 6 weeks. This is damn near unheard of. And if we come back to the posts and we look at the comments, it's just a bunch of mixed opinions. There's people that like the game, there's people that didn't like the game, there's people that are big mixed about it. Some people felt like they were let down. There was promises that they did not keep, like with this comment saying you guys had a year-long map, though. Literally, what the fuck was the point of this game? You're not even going to entertain the thought that it could salvage like No Man's Sky. That's insane. And then somebody's pulling up the SteamDB numbers. Of course we got the memes. Of course we got the memes. And yeah, just a bunch of mixed opinions. And of course, people are calling it the Concord curse, the Concord timeline. And of course, they got Marathon up here, which I was just talking about, that people are hoping is going to fail. But yeah, there are some good comments in here. There are some people that genuinely felt bad about the devs being laid off and felt bad about the game being shut down so early, just 6 weeks after launch, and they had a year-long roadmap. I honestly thought that they were going to last at least half a year, at least 6 months, and possibly maybe a year, so they can actually do their entire roadmap that they had laid out, all the content that they already probably had planned and finished, or probably just left the amount of people that they could to finish up the roadmap of content that they had. Yeah, I guess that's it. That's all, folks. It is the end of Highguard, and I wasn't even playing the game as much anymore. Once they basically laid off most of their crew, that's when I started playing. I just felt like they ended up giving up on the game by just letting a bunch of people go. And when I pull up my Steam, it says last time I played was February 10th. As you can see, the game is uninstalled. I uninstalled it a couple of days after the last time I played. I didn't just do it after they announced the game's closing. I've been uninstalled it. Like I said, I did it when they basically cut off most of their team, and in total I paid 33.5 hours. I put in the time, man. I put in the time. I did really like the game. Unfortunately, I just felt like the dev team just gave up, and it was just no point in keeping this on my hard drives, just taking up space when there's a bunch of other games that are currently out and coming out. But yeah, unfortunate, but we saw it coming. The numbers don't lie. So I guess that is the last time I will make a video about Highguard. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like. Be sure to leave a comment. I want to know your thoughts about Highguard as a whole, as we wrap up and as the game sunsets and it shuts down on March 12th. That's it. That's the end of Highguard. And now it's truly living up to the memes of the names that they've been coming up with this game, and that's low guard. This is officially low guard.